Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through the top trending stories that everyone across the country is talking about. Our top story today: a teenager set fire to a delivery bike.
We'll also be talking about an entrepreneur who revealed why he made the move to Dubai from Canada.
While we are all at work, this Dubai resident is road tripping from Dubai to China, and she's on day 98. Fair play.
And after all of today's top trending stories, we'll be joined by Magnum Gandour. He's going to be talking about his latest track, Magnesium. We cannot wait for that one.
But before we get into all of that, a meaty conversation topic for you today, we have a question for you. When you post, when you reshare a meme, when you add something to your stories, do you understand the context? Do you know what you're sharing?
Very, very true. I feel like right now we've come to a point where it's just like you find it funny, you reshare. You find it relatable, you reshare, you repost. You don't really go deep dive into like the meanings behind it, the feelings, the consensus. Like you just don't, like it's like at the time what you feel, you just reshare it.
The hurt that it might cause.
Yeah.
Case in point, you shared something with me yesterday.
So, of course, we know about Barbie and Barbenheimer. What is it? Barbie.
Close, yeah. Probably
Barbenheimer, right?
OBRB? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it's like Barbenheimer, and what's happening there is basically like, okay, fine, we have all the jokes and the memes of like, Barbie versus Oppenheimer, the openings, the two movies just clashing in the box office, fine. But now the graphics are getting so insensitive with like just glamorizing the mushroom clouds, glamorizing atomic bombs, the explosions, and people don't really see there's been so much death behind it. Like the movie is based on history, and not a great part of history. And right now, like what the internet is doing is just like mixing the two and making jokes out of the two without seeing the sentiments behind it.
True. Look, I haven't seen Oppenheimer. What I'm aware is that they tackled a really sensitive subject over 3.5 hours, Christopher Nolan, in a really conscientious way to deliver the story. When you put the visuals of the atomic bomb famous mushroom cloud on Barbie's head, it makes a mockery of the whole thing.
Exactly.
And I think though, because we've seen so many iconic Barbie images over the last couple of months and the massive, amazing marketing that put both release on the same day, unintentionally, but it happened.
Yeah.
People are sharing these photos without really realizing how unattractive it could feel to some people.
Exactly, very true. And like people rightfully said on social media, it's glamorizing atomic weapons, and it's doing it in a completely insensitive way that subconsciously desensitizes you to the whole situation and the just the gravitas of how painful that part of history was. And like you said, like Oppenheimer was done in a very like they were conscious of how they were creating it and how they were narrating the story, and now to just like mix the two, and it's so insensitive. But the internet, of course, like jokes first, memes first, feelings later.
True that. We're having a bit of problems on Instagram. There's no sound coming through, according to the comments, so we're going to get that fixed for you. But try and speak a little bit louder. The topic of the conversation today is, are you sometimes aware of the context that you're sharing? Because I think most people, they want to see both movies, they share the memes without really thinking about it. And then it's like the wider question of sometimes we share things without really understanding the context and the meaning behind them.
Exactly. So of course, like, give it a double take. Consider what you're posting, resharing, do your research behind it, even if it's a meme, even if it's something as harmless as a meme, because at the end of the day, it can cause a lot more harm than, just be in it for the lols.
So we're going to jump into our top story. Mike, please. Okay, we're just going to fix Instagram, because what's the point in starting unless we have like 80 people watching? Thank you guys. Parth is here.
Check.
He's going to fix the Instagram. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Parth. Let us know if you can hear us now. You missed an amazing talk topic. Good to go.
We are on it, you guys. We are on it.
The audio is on mute, maybe. Liz, Saki, we appreciate you. We're fixing it right now. Parth is on his second last day of interning with us, so we're putting him through disaster zone. Yes, they can hear us now. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you,
they missed the conversation.
Guys, you missed the conversation, but you know this show goes live in podcast format later on in the day.
Exactly. So make sure to tune in there, and there you can hear exactly what we spoke about, Barbie versus Oppenheimer. A very new conversation there, though.
Okay, let's jump into our top stories. Top story across the country today: a teenager who set fire to a delivery bike. So a teenager has been charged with theft and arson in the Emirates Juvenile Court. The Dubai Public Prosecution announced on Wednesday. This is 17-year-old, along with a friend. They stole a delivery bike, which was parked at a restaurant. So a delivery driver's bike was stolen. They drove to a different area. And what the teen did was pulled out the bike's petrol tube and set it on fire in a very deliberate act.
So the juvenile has been placed under judicial probation, while other person involved in the crime was referred to the misdemeanor court, and parents are urging to keep an eye on their children's activities and make them aware of consequences stemming from irresponsible behavior.
This is a very rare story that you see. A teenager has been charged with a crime related to antisocial public activity. And it made me, and we always talk about safety in Dubai, and I know that messaging is very clear, we don't need to rehash it, but in terms of like teenage antisocial behavior, you really don't see it here.
100%, you just don't. And that too, like teenagers, you don't see a lot of like rebelliousness in terms of like against the community, against the society. So this kind of act, of course, like, you know, just takes residents aback, and they're just like, okay, this is new. But like Dubai affirmed, like if you do go on and like go astray and commit crimes like this, there will be very harsh consequences.
Exactly. So they're taking a really hard line against this extremely antisocial behavior move. And you know what was interesting? In the announcement by public prosecution, they said what happened. And then in the second slide, they said, parents, we urge you to remind your kids of the consequences of this irresponsible behavior, which is such an important message because, you know, how children grow up, like how you deal with your kids and how you kind of like talk to them about life messages, and is the responsibility on the school to teach them how to act socially, or is it on the parents? And it's like, no, just a very like normal thing. Talk to your kids, let them know consequences if you step over the lines of the law. That will happen. And then especially in Dubai, when they take a really strict line, it's really important to remind them of this messaging.
What you said is so true. Like, you know, who is responsible for this behavior at the end of the day? Like, is it the child? Is it the parents? Is it the school? And there's so much pressure on every single group, right? Like for parents, it's like constant pressure of like earning, looking after their kids, homework, school, activities, everything. And then schools have the responsibility of thousands of children and kids, you know, like they have their own things going on. So it's just like so many factors that come into play. But of course, like you have to be so vigilant of your kids and see what they're going through, and see if they need someone to talk to, put them through counseling if you feel there's something, you know, missing, or if there's something wrong.
Yeah, I deep dove into some Facebook conversations really specifically on this topic of one parent in particular who was struggling with her child, and you know there was a massive debate on, you know, whether or not it was, you know, time to seek counselling. And at the end of the day, the response was, at the beginning, talk to your child and do seek help from a counsellor or therapist, and then also ask them to have that conversation if you're concerned in any way, because I think the pressure is on kids now versus even the difference between what I'm 20 years out of school, but the difference in time is vast, and it's hard for us to really understand the pressures on teenagers right now. We didn't grow up with so much social media. Times have changed for the better or for worse, but to understand the pressures is hard for parents, as you said, when they're so busy. So if there is any cause for concern, do speak to a professional. It's their job.
100%. We've had so many experts on the show who literally, like, their main primary point is kids want to be heard. They basically want to be heard. They want someone to talk to. They want that open space, safe space. So like if you're not able to provide that at home, like just make sure they get it externally. Like Casey said, from a counselor, a guider, anyone, you know, who they can just open up to and feel it safe.
True that. Okay, let's jump into our next story.
Why this entrepreneur made the move to Dubai from Canada. So if you find yourself wondering why move to Dubai, take it from Brooke Hidding. It's an experience you won't regret exploring. So when asked why did you move to Dubai, Brooke, a high-tech drop shipping entrepreneur, had a list of compelling reasons. Dubai, with its warm weather, no taxes, excellent networking opportunities, and more, was the perfect match for this aspiration. So it was a decision he knew he had to experience firsthand to truly understand its allure. One of the primary reasons are people that are coming to Dubai that draws them here is enticing tax benefits it offers. So Brooke, originally from Canada, had always wanted to escape the cold winters, explore new horizons for a part of the year, and Dubai presented a golden opportunity for him to set up his company while enjoying a tax-free haven. No personal tax, no corporate tax for him, but although we will be giving you the disclaimer on that because it has been introduced starting June 1st of 2023. And of course, he said no divided tax. Dubai provided a lucrative tax environment that was hard to resist.
So intriguingly, Dubai's tax residency rules have evolved over time, which some of you may be keenly aware of. As of this year, to qualify as a Dubai tax resident, for an individual, they need to spend a minimum of 183 days within a 12-month consecutive period and a minimum of 90 days. So Brooke mentioned how this was a game changer for him. As you can imagine, this strategic balance enabled him to relinquish his Canadian tax residency. Canada's going to be upset, I'm sure, and embrace Dubai as his new fiscal home. Brooke's journey to Dubai showcases the power of entrepreneurship and the allure of this dynamic city, which we talk about time and again.
Yeah, so to recap, with its tax incentives, warm climate, and vast networking opportunities, Dubai beckons entrepreneurs and investors from around the world. However, please note that on June 1st, 2023, the UAE introduced a 9% business tax with certain exemptions for the free zones that fuel its economy. Now, this step was taken by the UAE to enhance non-oil revenue and maintain its position as a regional commercial hub. So there is, of course, like we said, there is corporate tax introduced starting June 1st of this year. But overall, there's no personal income tax and a lot of other benefits that Dubai offers, and hence it's so compelling to expats to just make the move here, and everything becomes so easy when you want to live here, like in terms of finding a house, in terms of the applications, in terms of just understanding government paperwork. It's so simple compared to other countries around the world.
True, and usually what I find is that has actually changed a lot. So in the last 10 years, we've moved much more towards digitalization. So you can do a lot on an app that you weren't able to do before.
Yeah.
I'm always going to shout out the Dubai Rest app. When you want to do your Ajari documents, you can do it there. Because previously, I was running to renew stuff. I was running with all my paperwork, and I did it online recently, and I just thought it was bish, bash, bosh.
Oh my God.
Thank you, apps. Now, of course, sometimes there's lines and there's queues, and we have to deal with that. But in general, as Simran said, I do find some of the processes that previously took time, they have become a lot quicker, which is amazing, especially for people who are new to the city. And there's always questions because there's, things that are confusing, names that you don't understand because you come from somewhere else. But generally, you'll always find a government website with all the information listed that makes it easy. And
that to compare to the last 10, 20 years, it's progressed so much that to like helplines, we have that many more helplines to just call and ask for questions. For, FAQs, we have all these Facebook groups, we have all these websites that are helping us out. Apps have become so much better. So comparatively, compared to when our parents moved here, it's just, not parents, of course, back 20 years ago, it's just that much more easier and simpler.
Thank you, Internet. Thank you, innovation. And thank you, a government that is all in for innovation. Now, from moving to Dubai to traveling, road tripping away. This Dubai resident is road tripping from Dubai to China, and this journey looks epic. So people often settle for road trips to neighboring Emirates, but this daring Dubai resident, Kate Lanley, and her partner are taking Wanderlust to a whole new level. Forget Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, or Oman. They've got their eyes set on this epic road trip to China, and I promise you it's something you're going to be following if you have the adventure bug.
So the couple is driving an overland Jeep with essential amenities such as a tent to sleep in, a fridge to secure the goodies, and more. And they're doing that while being sustainable. They operate 2 solar panels on top of the storage units that are 100 watt each. So interesting stuff they have going on there.
Guys, just check the videos. Obviously on Instagram you can't see it, but every other platform can. This is a house on wheels. It is huge. And then you see the video, she opens the door and they have it packed with stuff, as you would, by the way. Simmer, could you imagine if you were traveling to China in a car, how much stuff you would need?
Yeah, I mean, I could not even get started.
They have like, check the video, it's crazy. So they've passed through numerous countries so far, starting obviously in the UAE. They've passed Qatar already, Bahrain, Saudi, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Turkey, Cyprus, and now Georgia. They're apparently on date 98 and they hope to make it to China by December this year. Best of luck, guys. We'll be following your journey the whole way there. It's so cool. And I know a lot of people are highly jealous. I think it's such a cool thing to do. Imagine the experiences.
I'm sure they have their visas sorted. Just to like pass all those countries, the first thing you think of is visa. So I'm sure if that's sorted, everything else will just fall into place. But that is so ambitious.
Now, why would you specifically? I agree. I would hope that all of the paperwork is secure, because otherwise that's going to be a tricky one.
Big mess.
But that came to you because?
Why did that come to me? I feel like that's for another day. What? Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's for another day. However, like this story in specific, it's so ambitious, right? Like the road trip from Dubai to China. It's like one day you wake up and you're like, you know, I want to travel. Let's make it a little bit more complicated. Not just take a flight out.
No, it's the experience of going through all the countries. Now, if you look at the video, they're in this insane Jeep. Literally, it's got all the essential amenities. So they basically have a house on wheels. So if you want to do it, get yourself a Jeep, go from China, plan the route, get in touch with Kate. We have her tag on our Instagram and you can figure out the route. Maybe she should start, I mean, like I would start that as a business. Be like, here's my route. Here's all the visa information if you want to do that road trip. Surely people would be interested.
100%.
She could start, you know, doing that link, you know, buy a Jeep, here's my social. What's that, affiliate marketing?
I think affiliate marketing.
Knock 5% off the top for every buyer. Use my code. You can travel like I did.
I think that is genius, Casey. Kate, if you're listening, do take that on board, because that is honestly such a good business idea. That too with what you're doing. It's so exciting. It's so exciting.
It is super cool, Kate. Enjoy the rest of the trip. And like I said, we'll be following keenly. We love Dubai's community stories here and abroad. So keep it up. It's 8:48, which means it is time for our interview. We're going to be joined very shortly by Magnum Gandor, who's talking all things about his latest track, Magnesium. It's out now.